Hi everyone, so you've probably heard a number of times how Jira is horrendous. It's too complicated, it slows us down, it's really a tool for managers, not for us, and the backlog is a mess. So Jira has a bad reputation, but the problem is not Jira, it is you. It's the way it's been set up. So in this video, we're going to have a look at how to set up your Jira in a way that makes a little bit more sense and gets rid of those niggling issues. First things first is the workflow. A lot of times people have super complicated workflows. So you might have to do, in progress, dev review, QA, staging, UAT, ready for release, and so on and so forth. Exceptionally long workflow, not necessary at all. You could just stick with to do, in progress, and done. Add comments in the tickets if you think that's going to help, but there's no need to overcomplicate a workflow. You have a nice straightforward workflow, makes sense to everybody, easy to use for everybody, and everyone's a lot happy with it. The next bit is over tracking. Okay, now you might set up your Jira board so you have a ton of information on there. You've got all the labels filled out. You've got loads of information on there, and you're forcing people when they're creating cards and moving cards along to continue to do what you've done, which is fill out those labels and add 10-15 items to a ticket in terms of the labels just to create that ticket. And that's wrong, because are you actually using those labels? Are any of those labels of use to you? If you have a lot of these redundant ideas in terms of how you set up your Jira tickets, then that's going to cost you time, and it's going to cost your team time as they sort of struggle to create these tickets and write these tickets. You might have developers spending half an hour trying to create tickets, and which is a half an hour they could have done, they could have been using to do code. So are you making your Jira overcomplicated by trying to pack too much information to a ticket? Again, similar to the workflow, simplify it. Just add in what you need, not what you think you might need at some point in the future. The next thing is a backlog that is absolutely massive and has just lists and lists of items that have never been removed. Really, if an item is over 6 months, does anyone really care about it anymore? Unlikely. You can just get rid of it, right? Whatever your technique you use, regular backlog grooming to make sure that your team is focused on just the items that they need to be focused on is a must. And that is key in terms, again, you'll see a theme coming through here, simplifying Jira, making it easy to look at, making it easy to use. So get rid of your excessive backlog. Now, Jira allows you to track story points, which allows you to create velocity, and some teams get absolutely obsessed with using Jira to track velocity. Oh, we've done 50 points this sprint. I think next sprint we can do 55. Yeah, fantastic. What you should be doing instead of that is actually thinking about, again, the flow of work, how you can make the flow of work more efficient. There's the things that you can put in place that will make it more efficient. So not just blindly aiming to get more story points in, but actually looking at where the bottlenecks are that you can improve. And Jira does let you do that if you allow it to. And there's so much better metrics than velocity. So cycle time, for example, is a much better metric than velocity, and it allows you to pick up items that are pretty high in cycle time, and then you can explore those further. It gives you a point to explore further. General velocity is fairly meaningless apart from unless you want to report it. And this is when the idea of Jira being a tool for managers, not team, comes into play. So Jira is there to help you deliver value and help you to make your processes more efficient. It's not there just to track velocity and report velocity. Those are all the things that you could be doing at the moment that are potentially making Jira more complicated and unnecessary for your team than it should be. Now, there are genuine cases where actually Jira does end up being an issue. Okay, and I'll briefly talk about those. So for example, if your company has locked down your Jira privileges and you can't make a lot of changes, that's going to make Jira slightly inefficient for you. If you're just using Jira as a reporting tool, again, you're not trying to work with the team to improve efficiency, improve flow, doing all those kind of things on Jira. You're just using it to track velocity and report back. Again, that's on you, isn't it? And every so often, you do a bit of work and you think actually Trello would have been a lot easier than Jira, because you don't need to use all the features of Jira. So in that case, again, Jira is the problem there. So there are a few cases where Jira could potentially be the problem, but for the vast majority of cases that I've seen, Jira is not the issue, it's the setup that's the issue, and that's something you can resolve. Great, thanks for listening, everyone. I would love to hear how Jira has caused issues in your setup and what you've done to resolve those issues. Be sure to press like, and I will speak to you all later.